Hey, guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we will be looking at a couple of stories that prove that Klay Thompson is not human. Even if you just consider the fact that Klay Thompson went from having a major injury, which included damage to his knees, ankles, hamstrings, ACL tears, and the right Achilles in 2019, to winning the 2022 playoffs against the Boston Celtics, you would realize that Klay Thompson is in fact no ordinary human. But before we venture any further into this video, just a reminder to like and subscribe to the channel if you happen to find the video interesting. If you would like to receive notifications whenever we upload, then hit that bell icon, and what's more, you can adjust the settings to your liking. With that out of the way, let's continue with today's video. Klay Thompson and the pre-game ritual. Usually, players like to practice and warm up on the court till it's game time. These warm-up exercises and drills take up to around an hour and a half. This makes sense. Before a game, players need to get into the correct mindset, brush up their form and skills, bring out their A game, and get serious. Some do so just to distract themselves from the nervousness and anxiety, the pre-game jitters as the term goes. Many players have buckled under the pressure of the game. James Harden, for example, went on a nice stroll on the court, the ball rolling beside him as another player from the competing team runs up and grabs the ball and dunks it in. Harden just stood there and watched it all happen. So what is Klay Thompson's pre-game ritual? Well, he does not step onto the court unless it's time to play. Instead, Klay Thompson can be found relaxing in the locker room, a drink in his hand, reading a newspaper or a book like an intellectual. Unlike his peers, Klay Thompson views business articles or pieces on the global economy before the game begins. It seems Klay Thompson is just a really cool, calm, and collected person. Steph Curry recalled his first time seeing Klay Thompson chilling in the locker room, a newspaper in his hand, and he says, the first time he came into the locker room and he had his feet kicked up and he was reading. I don't know what paper it was, he was reading a newspaper. He just looked so comfortable and at peace. He didn't realize how different that was in the moment, like it's an hour and a half before the game, you're up there reading. Klay had this to say about his pre-game habits. I just think, especially my generation, we're on our phones so much, all the time, even me, I'm a bad culprit of it, that my mom actually suggested this to me. She said, Klay, instead of standing at your phone pre-game all the time, why don't you get a newspaper or a book and read that before a game? Try to take your mind off things. I was like, Mom, that's a great idea. So I started reading the sports section. I like reading the sports section about high school hoops or college basketball, and just like that old school feel. I like to feel the newspaper, so shout out to my mom for helping me with my pre-game ritual. High school superstar. Before playing in the big leagues, Klay Thompson had already made a name for himself in his high school games. His then coach recognized the talent they had on their hands and knew immediately that Klay Thompson was not an ordinary child. In fact, he knew already that Klay would make it big in the NBA. He says, was definitely an indication at that point that this guy could be something special. Moreover, the coach said this about Klay Thompson, when he came in as a sophomore, we could see that he had really advanced. He could absolutely drill it. His teammates who played alongside him also appreciated Klay Thompson's skill set. They just had to make a well-timed pass and sit back and watch Klay Thompson work his magic. Jason Panko said, it was so fun to just get him the ball and take pride in being a good passer because if you put it right where you needed to, he was knocking them down. What were his statistics, you ask? As a senior, Thompson averaged 21 points per game, and led SMCHS to a 30-5 record and a Division I state championship appearance. During the state championship, Thompson set a state finals record with 7 three-pointers in a game. Klay Thompson and the Washington State. In 2008, Klay Thompson joined the Washington State and played ball there. He was obviously not done with breaking records. He had more to show and prove, and that is exactly what he set to do in a championship game against San Diego. It was the Great Alaska Shootout game and Klay Thompson racked up a record 43 points in the game. Whose record did he break? He dethroned legendary player Glenn Robinson, who had bagged 41 points in that game. Glenn Robinson, who was NBA's #1 draft pick all the way back in 1994. Klay Thompson just proved time and again that he was not built the same. Thompson scored 43 points on 16 for 24, which included 8 three-pointers. I don't think any NBA player has displayed this kind of talent in a championship game. Washington State completely blew San Diego away. The game ended 93-56. It's like San Diego had invited Klay Thompson to score points. There was absolutely no defense from San Diego, no one to guard Klay Thompson. The San Diego coach later said in an interview, "If you watch the game, it didn't look like we guarded him at all. We had no answer for him. We just don't have any wings with his size. Even if we had a guy draped on him, it was like we weren't there." Klay Thompson is on absolute fire. Another instance that proved how unstoppable Klay Thompson is, and that for him the only way to go was up and up, was in 2019 during a game against the Lakers. Klay Thompson seemed to have input a cheat code in real life if that was possible. The man just grabbed the ball and shot it in the basket and repeat. That seemed like the entire game plan. Pass the ball to Thompson and he'll shoot it in. For the first 3 quarters, Klay Thompson was dead on target with his shooting. After the game, he had 44 points to his name and 10 consecutive three-point shots. What is even more mind-blowing is the fact that he only missed 4 shots. Just 4. Imagine that. If you want to look at some numbers, then he was 90% accurate while shooting three-pointers and 85% accurate when shooting two-pointers. After the game, this is what Klay Thompson had to say about his historic game. "I've never hit 10 threes in a row in a game. That is hard to do, I just happened to be on tonight." When you got that hot hand, you're just looking for that little ounce of space. Because all you need is an inch or two, that thing is just flicking off your wrist so easily. And it just happened to be one of those nights. In my opinion, Klay Thompson is just being humble here. If history has told us anything, it's that Klay Thompson is truly an NBA superstar in the making. And that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you found it interesting, then please do give this video a like. And to get more such videos, to hit the subscribe button. If you want to receive notifications whenever we upload, then hit the bell icon and adjust the settings to your liking. Oh, and let us know down in the comments below whether you agree with us or not. If you do, then tell us in the comments below any other incident which exhibited Klay Thompson's out-of-the-world qualities. We will catch you in the next video.